Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om, I bow to the Lord Vasudeva. We've been talking about the Bhagavad Gita, one of the great scriptures of the world. In my opinion, it's the greatest scripture because it has all truth condensed in so few pages. And last time I was talking about the importance of the Guru. The Bhagavad Gita is a colloquy, a dialogue between Krishna, who is the divine Guru and also the representative of God, and the disciple, Arjuna. And how does the Guru represent God? I remember when I met my Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, he asked me to give him my unconditional obedience. Well, I was desperate to be accepted. I really didn't see anything in life. I had tried so hard to improve myself, to reach perfection. I found that it was like washing a dirty shirt. You try to get a bubble that's in the shirt underwater and it just moves somewhere else. So I'd concentrate on one fault, and my energy being removed from another fault, that fault would come up. And I realized I needed help. I think that that happens to everybody, but it must happen before they will seek a guru. When they realize that I need help, I can't get it on my own, then they understand the need for a guru. The guru's purpose is not just to teach you. There are some gurus who are monis, they call them in India. Moni is somebody who never speaks. How can he presume to be a guru if he never speaks? The point is, it's all, mind you, truth is one. There's nothing sectarian in true religion. And what Krishna taught, Jesus taught. What Jesus taught, Buddha taught. All truths are one. They give different emphases to the truth, depending on the needs of the times in which they're living. But in the Bible, in the Gospel of St. John, it says, to all those who received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. And receiving doesn't mean, most Christians think it just means, well, I believe in him. Belief has been made the essence of being a true Christian. Well, people used to believe that the world is flat. That didn't make it flat, did it? The beliefs that you hold are not necessarily true. I can believe in you, but until you've proved yourself to me through testing, I can't say that I have faith in you. And so faith comes from experience. And faith is what the Bible is really talking about. It's what Jesus was talking about. And it's what Krishna also was bringing to Arjuna and to the world. But the need for the Guru, I can say this now. I have been a disciple of Paramhansa Yogananda for nearly 61 years now. And I can say that what I have really gained from him is attuning myself to his consciousness. It's very interesting how you don't lose your individuality. When I met him and he said, will you give me your unconditional obedience? I was, as I said, desperate. But I said that I wanted to be honest. I said, what if I think you're wrong? And he said, I will never ask anything of you that God himself doesn't tell me to ask you. And I found that it was so. And everything that he asked me, I found that if I followed my will, I didn't get anywhere. But if I did what I was feeling from him, and that feeling, it was a very interesting play between the disciple and the Guru, I could say, because he would try to force me to understand him in an inward way, in my consciousness. I remember one time I was at it was a bar mitzvah. I'm not Jewish, but I was invited by this Jewish community to perform some yoga postures in front of an audience in Beverly Hills, which people, especially Jewish psychiatrists in Beverly Hills, you can more or less count on their being atheists and materialists. I hope I'm wrong, but this is the impression that I have. Anyway, this Jewish psychiatrist got me in a corner afterwards, and he started trying to prick holes in my curtain, you might say, of belief. And I finally, to convince him, told him of a few miracles I had seen that my Guru had performed. And of course, all he thought was, well, I have an opening at 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning, maybe I can see this patient then. But when I saw my Guru 2 or 3 days later, he used to invite me to help serve lunch to guests and then perform some yoga postures. And after the guests left, then we'd often sit and talk. And he said, by the way, when you're with atheistic people, don't talk about miracles. I said, you knew? He said, I know every thought you think. Now, far from being embarrassed by that, I was very grateful for it, because then he could correct me. And I found that again and again, if I had a wrong thought, or if it wasn't an adequate thought, or if it was a thought that was directed perhaps not quite in the best way, he would remind me of it. I remember one time somebody had told me that he had been thinking of Yogananda, and suddenly his consciousness was so changed that he couldn't even feel his body. And I thought, that's for me. And so I began trying very hard to think of Yogananda's presence. And when I saw Yogananda, he said, are you up to some mischief, Walter? I said, no, sir, it didn't seem like mischief to me. Are you sure you're not up to some kind of mischief? And then he lovingly, but he said, all right, Walter, goodbye. He was going indoors, but I understood what he meant. I shouldn't be wanting these things, wanting attunement with him for any kind of experience. But attunement with the Guru, you find your thoughts guided. I have seen again and again in my life, somebody will ask me a question, and it's very interesting because sometimes I say, well, I don't know the answer. And the moment I say I don't know, I do know. And that knowledge comes from above. That knowledge comes from when I'm relaxed and say, well, I can't, so I just offer it to him. And then suddenly there it is. I've seen him give answers to every need, every question that I have had. The attunement with the Guru, you see, the ego is the thing that we want to get out of. As long as I think, because God made this ego, it's a delusion. It's all God playing this show. But because we have created this bundle of self-definitions that we have, that I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm old, I'm young, all the different things that we have that go to make up our personalities. I'm an artist, I'm a banker, and so on. We must get rid of that thought and realize that it's God playing this whole show through us. And the ego resists that thought. And you can never get rid of the ego just by willpower. There's a story Yogananda told me about a man who was being bothered by a demon. And he looked in the scriptures and found that there was a mantra there to say when you're being bothered by a demon. So he took some powder and said this mantra into the powder, you might say, and then threw the powder on the demon. It's a story, so don't take it seriously, but the lesson is serious. And the demon laughed. He said, before you could even say your mantra into that powder, I got into the powder myself, so how could it affect me? So you see what is meant here is that the ego is already infected with the very delusions that you want to get rid of. You can't do it on your own. This is why Shankaracharya, the great master of India many centuries ago, said that the greatest blessing in the three worlds, causal, astral, physical, is a true guru, one who knows the truth, one who knows God, and can pass that understanding on to you. Those who received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. It's that word power that you must keep in mind. When you're attuned with the Guru, you begin to get the power to understand that this ego is not my true self. And the worldly person will say, but I want to be the one doing it. Okay, but you won't do nearly so good a job. I've done many things in my life. I've written over 100 books. I've composed over 400 pieces of music. I've founded 8 communities. I've given thousands of lectures in many languages. And many people say that they're astounded at what I've done. But the truth is I haven't done any of it. I have allowed him to do it through me. You will find that if you allow God to work through you, there isn't any limit to what you can accomplish. Joy to you.